Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to be with you again. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. If you're new here, you just landed. I hope you like what you see. Stick around. I am a certified tarot reader. I am also a former newspaper journalist, so I tend to approach my readings pretty down to earth and try to, try to stick to what we know is happening and then get some added layers onto it and we get some deeper truths around what's going on. And I am also an ordained priestess in both Wiccan and African traditions. So I got a lot on my plate and I try to use it all to give you all good content and good readings. Today, no shortage of what's going on. I am taping this super early around 7 o'clock Tuesday morning before the results of the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Ooh, I keep going like this, and I'm almost at the point where I'm like, I don't even want to read on it anymore, because in my own time, like yesterday, I was looking at it again after in the wake of Muskrat's visit there and the whole thing with the cheese head. Like, oh, do we have to? And the energy was looking a little wonky, you all. I got to be honest with you, but I'm gonna light some candles today and just hope and pray that we can pull this one off. We need this win. We need this win. Susan Crawford. We need her to get to beat Schmiel or Schmiel. Yeah, I think that's his name. Look, I'm not even trying to let it register. But clearly they have put so much money behind him to try and swing that race for various reasons. So, and I can't say I was shocked. I don't know how you all felt about it, but like there was a quite a large crowd to see Muskrat when he showed up there Sunday. I was hoping to see maybe a little more protests, which there were protesters there. I think outside the Tesla takedown protests were amazing. Rachel Maddow did incredible work and reporting to cover that, and just things that continue to give us hope and make us understand that there is momentum out there, you all. There is hope. There is a resistance. There is movement to not just sit back and watch our country be dismantled. I'm going to talk to you about a young person I think we should keep our eyes on out of Chicago in this reading. So a couple of things I want to take a look at. And of course, the Florida special elections today. Got to mention that. I've read on it before, you all, and I must say, the one with Matt Gaetz's district, Gay Valamont, and the other guy that she's running against. I really don't know how I don't know how strongly. I think it's going to be close. I think she's going to do well, but I don't know whether she'll actually flip that one. The one in the Daytona area, Josh Weil versus Pine, that one actually is looking super like maybe kind of sort of, but Spirit again said don't put all our pennies in that bank, because the both of those districts are just so overwhelmingly red, and it really is going to depend on turnout and how fired up people are. And if the Dems are fired up enough to really get up and get out there and vote, then it's going to be by the slimmest of margins. But Weil might just pull it off, but I can't call that, and I'm not going to tell you that I've seen that clearly in my readings. It's just because those districts are so red. So again, candles going to be lit on my end. I hope you'll light some on yours, and we'll see what happens. All right, a couple of things today I want to take a look at, you all. Jasmine Crockett is definitely being targeted and by MAGA, and there's been this conflict, we'll call it that, between Crockett and one of Laura Loomer's camera people, one of her little, affiliates. So if you didn't see the video, apparently Jasmine Crockett was in the house going through, I don't know, she was headed to her office or whatever, but this guy, what's his name? I wrote it down. Charles Downs. He was a cameraman, again, affiliated with Laura Loomer. And she's trying to have a conversation with someone. She's walking up the hall, Jasmine Crockett, walking up the hall, having a conversation with, I think, a GOP House member. I can't remember who it was. But, so she's doing her thing. She's being Jasmine. She's looking fabulous, articulate, just doing her thing. And this guy is hassling her, talking about the Tesla takedown and her, why is she doing this and why? And you can hear him, because it's his camera taping it, and you can hear him just hassling her, hassling her, hassling her. And he goes to actually like jam his camera up in her face. And she does what I think anybody would have done in that position. She puts her hand up and like blocks the camera. Well, he goes and presses charges and says that she assaulted him. Ba 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 ba. So the U.S. attorney, this guy, what is his name? Ed Martin. U.S. attorney has gotten involved and says he's going to review the matter and decide whether or not to press charges against her. We know that a lot of eyes are on Jasmine Crockett. We know she came under a lot of fire for her Hot Wheels comment regarding Greg Abbott, last week. But come on. Compared to so many other things that are said on their end. But I do want to take a look at Jasmine Crockett and see how she's doing, and see if in fact any charges will be brought against her, because clearly they are going to up the ante with targeting her more and more. So I want to take a look at her. Secondly, I want to take a look at Joe Rogan, who some are calling it an actual split from the MAGA camp. It ain't that. I'm not getting that at all. But he has come out strongly. For those of you who may not know who Joe Rogan is, he's a very, very influential MAGA-esque podcaster. And during the campaign last year, he was very influential in getting especially a lot of young male voters to go that way, to go, what are we calling him now? FDT, okay? FDT, think about it. So to go his way and vote. He had Muskrat on his show, extremely influential. He has come out and said that these deportations, wholesale deportations are quote unquote horrific. And that there are, in fact, innocent people, that you can't just go by these tattoos that they were using to determine who were supposedly gang members. That's pretty shocking, you all. And so I want to take a look at whether that is going to trickle down to the MAGA base and continue to create what Spirit has been saying is going to be this MAGA split from FDT. I want to take a look and see if how far that's going to go. And in fact, will they then, sort of launch a campaign and begin to try and take down Joe Rogan, who's one of their main guys, all right? At least in the podcasting social media sphere. All right, so we're going to take a look at that. And finally, I want to end it on a high note. We have talking about the rise of young Democrats and the remaking of the Democratic Party. Some people are calling it the Democratic Party's Tea Party moment. We have a young person. Her name is Kat Abughazaleh. She goes by Kat Abu. She is running for Congress. She's decided to launch a campaign to run for Congress to replace an 80-year-old House member. What is her name? Jan Schakowsky. 80 years old, been in the House in the 9th District of Chicago since 1999. So Kat Abu, she goes by, is a very popular, got started on TikTok, YouTube, the whole, using the social media platforms, and she's been very, very influential, and she's raising some money. So going to take a look at her and see if, in fact, she is going to be a part of this new wave of young Dems that are going to make waves and potentially make a difference. All right, you all, let's get into some cards. So first, Jasmine Crockett, Spirit. Are charges going to be brought by the U.S. Attorney's Office against Jasmine Crockett for the conflict with that cameraman? Is Jasmine Crockett, Charles Downs is his name. Will Jasmine Crockett, are they going to go after her? Are charges going to be brought against Jasmine Crockett because of that altercation with that cameraman, Charles Downs? We have the 8 of Pentacles. They call it paper in this deck. Somebody's going to ask me. I am using the Banned Books Tarot today. All right, so we have the 8 of, that's them looking at it. The 8 of Pentacles, that's them, that's the U.S. Attorney's Office reviewing the tape to see if there's enough there. We have strength. That's her. She's got so much spiritual energy around her, you all. And I think a lot of that is you all. You know, people across the nation who uh, admire the fact that she has been one of the most outspoken Democrats in and taken the position, fearless position. We have the Two of Swords. That feels like it could go either way. They're going to, and the Page of Pentacles, writing something up, drafting something. And then we have the Magician. But I think this is, I'm getting a sense, you all, this is an effort to intimidate her. That's what this feels like, more so than anything, because there's nothing really there. She could, in fact, if you look at the video, she could, in fact, say she was being assaulted, because that's what this guy is saying down. So, you know, she assaulted him and blah, blah. But he's like coming in her face, like in her face with this camera. The Magician spirit. Why is that here? The Knight of Swords. They're not going to be able, this is intended to intimidate her and try to create something from nothing, you know, because at the end of the day, he wasn't harmed. There were enough witnesses there who saw how he was badgering her. And the Four of Swords. They're basically doing it to try and scare her, you all. But that isn't going to go anywhere. And I feel like there's a little bit of like trying to appease Bondi, trying to appease those who don't like Crockett, who don't like her fearlessness, who don't like the fact that she will not cower. And she refuses to be intimidated. We have the Three of they call it pins, swords. They will be sorry. You know, there's enough. She has so much support across the board. There are so many people who admire the fact that while so many Dems have been, you know, we say spineless Dems, that she has been one of those that will not be tolerated. That absolutely will not be tolerated. Like so many people would come to her defense. And we have the Star. There we go with that bullhorn there. Yeah, thank you, Spirit, for confirming that. There would be so many. Like, it's not about hands off. It's you know, yes, they can hassle her. They can try and intimidate her. But right now, she has so... Remember that strength card we got for her? Jasmine Crockett has so much... protective energy around her that, and her spirit is so strong that she will not be coward. If that's what they're trying to do, and if that's what this is about, they can hang it up. And the two, and she's going to just keep on going. The Two of paper, Two of Pentacles. She's going to keep on moving. She's good, you all. Don't worry about that. And finally, we have the Hermit. And the Hermit recognizing that she does blaze her own trail. She is her own person. She's not going to change who she is. She's not going to cower. It's a wasted effort on their part. However, I also think that she recognizes that they're targeting her, and any and everything that they can do to try and provoke her, because that was trying to provoke her, to put that you know, put that phone up in her face. But she's smart. She's got tremendous physical support around her. She's got tremendous wherewithal, and she has tremendous spiritual energy around her. So I think she's going to be okay. I don't see those charges going anywhere. All right. Let's move on to Joe Rogan and his decision to come out publicly and say these deportations are horrific. His word, horrific. That, I think, has rocked a lot of people, Spirit is saying, because, again, he has been so instrumental in being supportive of FDT, of being supportive of Muskrat, the whole agenda, giving them a platform, and mobilizing a lot of especially younger male voters to go that way. So are these the people who Joe Rogan has influence over, the MAGAs, that faction of the MAGA spirit? Are they going to stick with him? Is this going to help open their eyes to the deportations issue, and larger than that, swaying them away, causing that split from FDT? Are we going to begin to see that through Rogan? Joe Rogan. We've got the Emperor. That's him. I often pull this card when I'm doing political readings as representing FDT, you all. But that's Rogan. Rogan feels he is very, very clear on his power and the power of his platform. He understood what he was doing when he did it, when he made that statement. He understood how it was going to go across. And we have the 10 of words, the 10 of swords. He understood. Wow. He understood the backlash. He knew exactly what he was doing. And we have the 2 of wands, looking forward. I don't think he's going to back down from that, you all. I think what he's going to do is look at how his base that follow his podcast are going to respond to this. And how will they respond, Spirit? Will Joe Rogan's audience, the MAGAs, these young, especially young male MAGAs, will this help open their eyes to FDT and how they're considering it the hangman and flipping things around and starting to look at it like, okay, maybe there's a point here. Maybe any of us could have been, maybe some of our friends could have been picked up because of having a tattoo and misidentified. This is turning some things on its head with the 6 of Cups, evaluating what they felt in the past, what they thought in the past, what they thought that this whole masculine, take charge, that whole thing that surrounds FDT and Musk et al., the whole Project 2025, men are superior movement. They bought into that aspect of it, but they did not buy into the idea that any and everybody is subject to just being flipped out the country at the drop of a dime. And there's judgment. You all, we have been looking and continue to look to people in Congress to grow a spine, and the courts, and others, influential people in politics. But I'm getting from this that this is the people, and this is the people who run the movements. That's the people that Joe Rogan reaches. And they are going to be reevaluating some stuff. And here comes the 3 of Pens again, that heartache. Yeah, this is not. We are hearing it more and more, that a lot of people are waking up to, this is not what we wanted. This is not really, really who we are. Joe Rogan, is he going to continue along this line? Will he continue to stand up along this line? We have the Page of Wands. There may be, I get the sense from this, you all, there may be others who are encouraged enough by this to begin to use their voices along those lines, to speak up and say, some of this just ain't right. The wheel of fortune, the times are changing. The momentum is changing. And what makes this, and notice on here, even it says the grapes of wrath, because remember, this is Bam Books deck. What's really interesting, thank you, Spirit, is that what makes this powerful, even more powerful, is they can attack the obvious suspects, liberals, Of course, they're going to say we're awful and it's all wrong and blah, blah, blah. But this is going to throw them for a loop when their own begins to say and speak out and say, this is not cool. And Joe Rogan, and I'm getting a confirmation, I just pulled the Sun. Joe Rogan, who to thunk it, right? Who to thunk it? And I'm not suggesting, that we go too far in that direction and decide, Joe Rogan's now a friend or an ally. But the fact that there is some discussion that's being raised and voices that are being raised in dissent to FET and all of these, all of these horrific, to use Rogan's word, actions that are being taken. Keep our eyes on that, you all. There is, bit by bit by bit, there is growing dissent. And that dissent is going to topple that administration. All right. I want to wind up today. Let's look real quickly at this young woman, 26 years old, Kat Abu. We'll just call her Abu. She's a Palestinian American, also very interesting. So let's see. Is she going to be a viable candidate for Congress out of Chicago? Is she going to be, are we going to hear more from her? And is she going to be a viable candidate? Because, and the reason I'm being pulled to focus on her, you all, is because, things can happen in a cascading effect. So as if we see that she is taken seriously, that she actually is able to raise money, which she already is. I think she's already gotten grassroots level, like something like 300 grand, not pennies. We have the Six of Wands, victory, and that also is growing momentum around her. That was the card, the catalyst at the bottom of the deck. And we have the Hermit, rolling up the sleeves, getting it done, learning as she goes. She is extreme. I'm going to put a link to a short video. She is on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description box. You all can see her. It's just like 2 minutes long. Ready to get the work done. And here goes the Ace of Cups. She's going to be one to watch, you all. The Ace, I love that Ace of Cups with that dove. Because it's refreshing. People are ready to embrace her. And in Illinois, but even beyond, she's going to have national, the Three of Pentacles, that's paper. Three of Pentacles. That's people working together, collaborating with her. Don't be surprised if she's able to gain more traction and more momentum. You're going to see people like AOC, perhaps like Maxwell Frost, other like David Hogue, with the DNC. You're going to see other young Dems coming out and supporting her and giving and amplifying her reach and her audience. We have the Devil, but that's what she's talking about. She's talking about remaking the Democratic Party. She uses a couple of F-bombs here and there to get her point across, which, going back to Jasmine Crockett, that's one of the things we love about her. Like, keep it real, But this is about breaking the chains of what we see happening. The oligarchy, the authoritarianism, the literal trying to bind people and keep them in bondage due to fear. That is one of the most powerful aspects as an archetype that the Devil in tarot has. It's not even that the power is real of that energy. It is psychological. It is the fear. It is the anxiety that it causes. So that's what she's coming out and saying. That's going to be a big part of her platform, breaking away from fear. And I just got, if you watch me, you know how I am about my aces with spirit. They'll give me an ace when I'm on the right track as a yes. That's it. Yes. Keep your eye on her. As she goes, we will see that multiplied, and we're going to see more people challenged in the 2026 races. We're going to see more traditional Dems challenged by these young Dems who are coming up. Now they'll attract the young vote. The thing is going to be to get them enough momentum with older voters, with more traditional Dems, to see the need and be able to embrace the need for a different kind of leadership within the party. Let's see what happens. All right, you all. I've gone on long enough. I hope this was helpful to you. Please, let's keep our prayers going, our candles lit, our spirits strong. That strength card, like let's channel our inner Jasmine Crockett, right? All right, you all. Chin up. Remember, chin up, and keep our shoulders back. And whatever we do, we got to remember to breathe. Keep your breath. The breath calms your nervous system. It keeps your brain healthy, right? Delivers oxygen. So we got to do that. Remember to breathe. And I'll check back in with you a little bit later.